Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats, and we've been going live at 4 p.m. Central on weekdays to get information out to parents that will help them choose great schools for their kids and keep their kids learning in spite of all the change and all the challenges that we've been through the past couple of years. So I'm really excited today to focus on an area that a lot of students are interested in, but that can be challenging for schools to offer to students because there's such a big hill to climb in terms of the equipment and the expertise that you need to do it right. So we're going to be talking about Alamo Arts Academy, and we have a new guest post on the blog today at sachartermoms.com. And so the guests we have on Charter Moms Chats, we have Buddy Calvo, and he's the founder of Alamo Arts Academy, and wears a lot of other hats as well. Lots of experience in film production, and he also has teaching experience at a charter school that's not around anymore, but he did a lot of great stuff for his students. And he's also part of Bearfest and TRL Productions. And so lots of great events for students to get involved. So anyway, Buddy's a really busy guy. So, but today we're focusing on Alamo Arts Academy. And then we also get to talk with Sarah Patterson, who teaches photography as part of Alamo Arts Academy, but she wears lots of other hats too. So she's a program manager and also has her own business as a photographer and creative director at Pendant. So that's you can sense a theme here. These are like real industry professionals who are also giving back and mentoring students. So I'm excited to talk about Alamo Arts Academy.
Very nice to be here. Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Okay, so I didn't decide ahead of time who was going to get which question, so y'all both get to chime in. But maybe I'll send this one to Buddy first, and then Sarah can chime in. But for people who maybe haven't heard of Alamo Arts Academy because it's kind of new, so can you explain in a nutshell, like the mission and vision of Alamo Arts Academy?
Absolutely. So the mission is to provide multimedia education to student creatives. More than that, I mean, that's huge and that's very general, very big. But our program, it is a multimedia educational curriculum. It's aligned with the TEKS. Everything we've done, everything put in this curriculum is aligned to the TEKS. And it teaches students middle school and high school, digital film production, digital photography, graphic design, and audio engineering. So it is this year-round, really interactive, practicum-based and TEKS-infused, specifically with the CTE TEKS program that is really giving something special to our middle school and high school students.
Sarah, do you want to chime in?
No, everything he said. That's our passion. That's our vision and mission, and our goal is to get in with charter schools and the underserved communities as well, to bring a sector of education that we haven't had before because of the expensive equipment, and it's just been something that hasn't really been explored before. So that's our passion.
Yeah, but it's something that like students are definitely interested in. I mean, like this, a lot of middle school and high school age kids will tell me like that's their dream to get involved in that. When they grow up, and
especially this day and age. I mean, you have so much that's available to students, and I'm sure every generation says this. You have so much that's available to students nowadays that wasn't available, let's say, even 10 years ago. So it seems like every 5-10 years or something new, went from MySpace to Facebook, and Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and none of that's cool anymore. The only thing that's cool now in the whole world is TikToks and others TikTok. But all of those have to do with the form of multimedia production. Even if students and kiddos don't know it, I mean, they're filming, they're putting on different graphics, they're checking their audio, making sure it's good. The students are really focused on ring lights and understanding lighting and even light. I mean, all of that are multimedia skills. So we're really building off of that, almost like, well, you didn't know, you're kind of already on this pathway that happens to be a CTE career pathway. We're building off of that, and we're teaching students the traditional, more the basics, more the foundational, really teaching them the rules that they need to learn. So then they can break the rules. But when I was a teacher in the classroom, I used to always say too, because one of the very first questions you hear from kiddos is, well, I want to do it like this, or I want to do it like that. So immediately they're thinking outside the box, they want to break rules. And I'm saying, great, let's learn the rules first. And then I'm all for breaking them, or bend it up. But let's learn them first, and then we'll go from there. So that's what the Alamo Arts Academy is. It's, yes, it's curriculum. Yes, it's TICA line. Yes, CTE. Yes, but it's also teaching students, middle school and high school students, skills, real skills that they can apply towards a real career outside of high school. And maybe sometimes kiddos feel that in high school, what they're learning, they're not going to apply that. Maybe they're feeling that about certain subjects. This is stuff that not only, most likely, if they have a cell phone, most likely, or if they've ever watched Netflix, or which we all know we all did during the pandemic, if they have that familiarity, we're building off of that. And we're teaching them those skills. So you get out of high school, you can get a job running a camera operator at a Spurs game. You can be doing graphic design for AT&T or Frostbank. You could be doing audio engineering for those great bands or artists that you enjoy. You could be doing digital photography, taking you all over the world doing photography. We're teaching you those skills not only so you can learn this curriculum, but so you can apply them outside of the classroom.
Right. Well, and you mentioned two key things. I want to connect them together. So you mentioned that all the curriculum is aligned to the state standards, and you mentioned that it's it's specifically it's the CTE standards, right? Career Technical Education. But then I think what's even more important is you mentioned like how engaging and motivating this is for students, and how it connects up to these jobs in the real world. Because that's something that I hear from other parents of and even in our own experience of, like, if you have a middle schooler, high schooler, distance learning might have been kind of demotivating for them. And so then, like, how do you get them excited again? And I think thinking about painting a picture of a future for them, doing things that they enjoy, and then these are the steps that'll get you there. I think that's really important.
Absolutely it is. And this passion, this drive, this motivation I have comes from, it's rooted from when I was a teacher. So I was a teacher for 5 years, teaching film production at a charter school here in San Antonio. And the way this school was designed and the thought that went into the area of focus of CT education is second to none. So as I was there and I was learning more, and I got into it, I wasn't, not a certified teacher at the time, teaching is not for me. And as I got into it, I started thinking, they said, we're going to start as a paraprofessional. And then, you come in once a week, and that quickly changed to twice a week, quickly changed to 5 times a week, quickly changed to maybe I should get my certification. So on and so forth. And I said, man, we could really reach students this way. I guess I observed, just like we all do, going through school, going to college, how maybe sometimes it doesn't work to reach students. And the way they were doing it there, which was practicum, hands-on, Montessori, anything we can do to get the students to get their hands on these, in my field anyways, film production, the better. And these students were really learning. They were coming back year after year. Oh, sir, I started, working in wedding videography, or I'm starting to try to get this job doing commercials. And a lot of these students there were from, the low socioeconomic backgrounds. We're from those communities that this kind of idea isn't traditionally thought of. Like, nobody in their family or nobody in their community are filmmakers. They don't shoot commercials. They don't, they have different courses. They're headed in different directions. So that motivation from there, seeing those kiddos and how you could really transform lives. Honestly, that's what teachers are doing. Teachers are in there every single day, especially, we're not even talking about the pandemic, but just in general, transforming lives. Our whole society, the whole next generation of human beings, of people out there voting and leading, the country and the world, they're being taught in there by teachers. So if you could really, make that impact on a student, I thought this was phenomenal. And it's something I love to do. I'm a movie nut. I love films. And I was like, man, this is amazing. So that's where that motivation and passion comes from me, especially knowing it doesn't just stop at filmmaking. And not that saying filmmaking isn't huge, or it doesn't just start as creative photos. As I'm sure Sarah would say, it's not just about being a creative photographer. This is a business. This isn't just art. And although it's in our name, the Alamo Arts Academy, it isn't just art. Art's huge, but this is also, our program, I see it as an economic stimulant as well because these students turn right back around and get to work here in their communities, putting money, putting companies, putting different resources right back into it. So it's huge. This whole program is huge, and as you can tell, I'm super passionate about it.
Yeah. So I want to loop back to, like, you made a really important point about equity, but before we go more into that, I want to ask, and I want to ask for both of you, like, so how, and this is explained in the blog post, but I just want to have a dialogue about it, like how students access the lessons, because I mentioned earlier, like some kids felt disconnected from school because distance learning wasn't working for them, but you guys have found really effective ways to get students doing practical things, even through a virtual program. So, maybe, Buddy, you could kind of share your perspective, and then Sarah, you could explain, like, kind of as a teacher, like how it works.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'll give a little bit, and then Sarah, you take it. So it's all hybrid. So the idea we started actually putting into practice when the pandemic was full blown. Like, hey, we can actually do the Alamo Arts Academy program, especially now more than ever because of all the remote learning. Then we quickly realized, well, students are over remote learning. So how can we still keep remote learnings, keep online learning, but still make it engaging and fun? And so we put our platform, we put our educational curriculum and program on the platform Experienceify. Are you familiar with that, Inga? Have you ever heard of Experienceify?
I have not used that one yet.
Okay, so it's an online educational platform. There's a few of them, and it's really intuitive, really interactive with students, and we're able to do different, do different processes that allow us to interact with students. As if it's Zooms, if it's chatting, if it's doing emails, that's that portion of it. Then at the end of each lesson, students are able to do projects that they have to turn back into us so that they can get incentive points that they can redeem for different incentives. So we're constantly interacting with the students. It's not just learn these lessons, get through the curriculum, all right, we'll see you in 6 months. And students are never going to do that. Teachers will tell you they have a hard enough time to get them to do that when they're right there in the classroom or when it's for a grade, and you would think they're going to do it for us. No way. So we made it interactive with those points, with those incentives. And Sarah, you want to take it from here, Sarah?
Oh yeah, same thing was what I was going to say. Actually, from the instructor side, being able to engage with the students and have touch points where we can talk to them and encourage them. We can monitor their progress on the back end is really helpful. But for the students, just having that platform where they can learn, but they can take that and do something with it. So they can actually pull the equipment that which we'll talk a little bit about, I'm sure, but they'll actually have equipment that they can practice with, and everything that they're learning, they get to actually hands-on learn how to do it themselves. And then it's art. They get to take it and run with it and create something that's their own. And so for us, it's just the excitement of seeing them progress, and then they get momentum when they create a project and then they want to bring it back to us and show us what they've done. And so we've built this relationship with the students that overcomes that COVID fatigue that we have from online learning. So that's a big part for us that was really important as we're developing this program, and we're building on that, is how can we make this engaging for them? So that the incentive program has been a huge help for us, just giving them that little extra edge, a little extra push, and rewarding them for working hard and pursuing something that will pay off for them in the future.
Yeah, I think there's a great value when folks like y'all who are experts, and then you're giving students like a path, and they feel like they're making progress. Because I think just the idea in general of, like, I'm going to teach myself Photoshop, like that can just be overwhelming. But having just like an invitation and a structure, and then like a reward system, it's like that's yeah, it works on everybody. It works on adults. It works on teenagers.
Yeah, the incentive works great, and then it's so many different elements from things we saw that were successful. So we have like masterclass. There's a masterclass that's out there for adults. You pay for that subscription or that certain class. Okay, we took elements of that, and then elements of being a professional. Sarah being a professional, myself being a professional, our two other instructors being professionals, and then elements of being or just being fortunate enough that two of us, myself and Mr. Guillermo, he's the audience, our graphic designer instructor. She's an actual teacher right now in the classroom, teaching at one of our campus, at an actual campus here in San Antonio. And then Sarah, with her background of years upon years of digital photography, professional experience, it's a win-win in every direction. So when we've talked to schools about this, they said, wow, you're in a really unique position where you have this platform, you developed it while you were a teacher and then a CTE coordinator. I was a CTE coordinator at that campus when I left. So you have a lot of those ins and outs. Plus, y'all, a couple of y'all are certified teachers. It's all written to the T's. And then you have industry professionals this is amazing. So that's what I get excited about it. Like, I need to shout it from the mountaintops to enough kiddos and enough schools and enough parents so they know, like, wow, this exists out there for their students.
Yeah. So I want to ask about another element that you mentioned in the blog post, and that's about like how students are getting real world experience. And I know, Buddy, you touched on that a little bit. So, but I think that that's something that again, it helps with the motivation and the relevance, and it also provides like a reality check on, right? Because it's one thing if I mean, I have so much respect for teachers, but I think the best case scenario for something like multimedia is like when you have people with teaching expertise who also have that industry experience and they're bringing that to the table. So yeah, so how are students through Alamo Arts Academy getting real world experience?
Yeah, I can take this one. So it was important for us when we're building the program, to figure out different ways to reach students who learn differently. So a lot of them are kinesthetic and they need to be hands-on and learning and touching and doing things themselves. So for us, the practicum side of it is really important, and that's what's going to give them those skills to be able to take that into the future careers. So we've done, we kind of layer it in through the program. So we've got, after they watch their lessons, they have after lesson projects, post lesson projects that they'll do. So what they've learned, they get to actually practice and put it together and bring it back to the instructors and continue developing their craft. Then we also have events throughout the year. So we've got some really exciting, fun events that Buddy Calvo, he's a genius. He's had these ideas brewing in his head for 10 years. And so they're finally coming to fruition. And we're super excited to put them together and just keep building on it. But I can go through some of them, but real quickly. So we've got something called 48 to Create, and it's our 48 hours to create a short film. And I can let Buddy talk a little bit more about that. But
yeah. So it's the film, and Sarah, it's the film that they're creating, and then the photographers. So the photographers will be the photography students, and they'll be taking pictures, behind the scenes pictures, and pictures for the poster that needs to be turned in. Then the graphic design students have a hand in it, where they're going to be creating those graphic designs for that poster and for graphic design and animation for the edited video. And then the audio engineering students are there, of course, capturing audio and then helping in post-production, putting all that together. So that's also us showcasing to whomever, obviously the students, but schools, parents, teachers, look how our program works, and then works cohesively. Because I remember that being a big part of being a teacher as well, is not wanting every subject to feel so fragmented. You want to work together. How can math work with science? How could history work with geography? How could the CTE program work with everyone? And at our school that we were at, we would put the CTE students to work, working for the entire campus. Oh, the history club is doing this, and the chess club, and the basketball team. Guess who's filming it? Guess who's making graphics? Same thing here. Same thing here with the 48 to Create. And then we have our summer boot camp. That is the Come and Make It summer boot camp. And that's a huge event where we're having the kiddos for 2 weeks, 10 days. And they are learning. We're on certain days, we have our welcome day and we have our closing day. And then we have 2 days of film. One day where they're learning, one day where they're putting it to practice. 2 days of photography, 2 days of audio engineering, 2 days of graphic design. And each of those days, they have real professionals that they're working with. And not only are these local professionals, we're lucky enough that Sarah, myself, Art Guillermo, our audio engineering instructor, Denise Mancha, our graphic design instructor, we all know professionals in the field in San Antonio, in Texas, and all across. So we're lucky enough to have friends that have worked on Marvel films, friends that have worked on The Walking Dead, that are going to come in and talk to these students. And I think that helps the students understand too, not taken away from anything locally, but when they can turn on, the TV or their iPad and their phone and they see their favorite show or Stranger Things or Walking Dead, and we say we have somebody that worked on that, it blows their mind. And then these people come with a prop or with, a wardrobe or anything that, they could bring from the set, or just their knowledge, their know-how. the students, sit up and listen, and I'm there saying, hey, I've been telling you that for weeks. And oh, get out of here. This guy knows what he's talking. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I know how it is. Or Sarah's saying, hey, I've been showing you how to do this. And they're like, well, this person for photographing, we get it. We know how students are, but that's great. We don't care. It's all about teaching them and giving it to them. I don't care how it happens. I just want it to happen. So, and our last event is our event coming up here on the 12th, on April 12th, is Bear Fest. So Alamo Arts Academy is under the umbrella of our nonprofit TRL Productions, and TRL Productions puts together, they put on Bear Fest, and now, Alamo Arts Academy. And so Bear Fest now is a way where, starting next school year, there's a way where Alamo Arts Academy students can showcase their talents. They can do it in the 48 to create. They do a lot in the boot camp. The boot camp's huge, but in Bear Fest, that's our big award show. It's at the Tobin. All the students get the opportunity to dress up, and then there's awards, there's scholarships, and all the different nonprofits come together with students. And just to explain a little bit on Bear Fest is the only media festival of its kind where we pair up high school media students with local nonprofits, or nonprofits from around 7 counties. And these high school media students make marketing assets for these nonprofits. So we, San Antonio Humane Society and Guide Dogs of Town, all sorts of nonprofits. These students are creating graphic design for them, doing photography for them, doing marketing videos for them. And then just like an award show, we judge, and we have a panel of professional judges that come in and judge for best editing, best picture, best sound. Students get up there, they get to, get that trophy. And again, this goes back to me and my passion, and maybe a little bit of being in high school and thinking there's not too many times where if you have a multimedia student or a graphic design student that they get awarded or shine a light on them like the basketball players or the football players or the choir. Or a lot of those students, and rightfully so, they make a big deal. They get those patches on their lettermans. What do I get? I'm a film student. I'm a graphic design student. What do I get? Come to Bear Fest. We'll show you what you get. And so we have that response from students like, this is so cool, because sure, we could start a film club or we can start a photography club, but we don't get, this kind of recognition like this. And they do now. And, a lot of that has to do with what we're doing at TRL Productions and what we're doing with Alamo Arts Academy. So we're very proud of those 3 different events.
Yeah. Well, you made, Buddy, you made a really good point about how, like, through things like Come and Make It, like the summer program, that if you're bringing in industry professionals from, outside of San Antonio, and they're able to like mention like, oh yeah, like a name drop, like what different productions they worked on and things like that, part of that is expanding the horizons, right? So that like in San Antonio, there are, students who maybe have never left Bexar County, through no fault of their own, right? It's like, that's the size of their world. But, like when I see like, especially like charter schools are really good about this. Like they'll take students who've never left Bexar County and they'll say, we're going on a trip, and they'll stop at UT Austin, they'll stop at North Texas, the Mean Green Machine, they'll stop at, Texas A&M. And then, it gives, then kids can picture in their minds like, wow, this is what these universities are like. I can see myself at a university like this. Maybe I'm the first in my family to do this, but that's okay. Absolutely. I can do it. And, and I think, but, not every kid, should go to a 4-year school. Like they should have that option, but maybe that's right. Not what's going to get them where they need to go. I think that's what's so important about CTE education. And we talked about this in the Facebook discussion group. Is like that there's, we just want our kids to have a plan. Like we want them to do something they love. And if that's not necessarily college, maybe if it's a certification or it's a 2-year program or an internship or apprenticeship, like whatever, just have a plan. And
that's right.
And then, so just like when, the like college prep schools will take kids on a road trip and go on a college visit, it's like you're bringing these professionals in and it's expanding students' horizons. And so, and that goes to the equity goals, right? Of like providing this equipment. So maybe that's where I was going with this, but like, I just want to hear more about like the equity side of this and how you're giving students access to equipment that they might not otherwise be able to tap into.
Absolutely. Sarah?
Yeah, so we're working with community partners to try to, equipment is expensive inherently, and especially in our industry. So working with, you know, whoever can bring funding in and whatever we can build together to bring media kits is our goal here. So we want every school to have access, every student to have access to these media kits, and we've custom built them to go along with the curriculum so that as they're learning, they're able to practice on the same equipment that we're teaching them on or similar equipment. So we want to make that accessible to all, and it's part of the equipment. It's part of the curriculum. So when the school signs up, they're going to get access to the media kits, no questions. That's going to be available to them. So that is part of that equity discussion and making sure that that's available to all.
Can you give some examples of just so people get to see in their mind's eye, like what's some of the equipment in a media kit?
Absolutely. So I'll be a little biased on the photography side because I get excited.
Oh, it's Canon, right? Yeah.
Yep, Canon all the way. So,
it is. It's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we've got Canon cameras. We've got a whole studio set up, and it depends. We break it out middle school or high school. So we've got different levels that they'll be learning on. So we've got entry-level DSLRs and point and shoots that we're going to be teaching depending on the level. And then we build equipment from there. We've got studio setups, green screens for film production. We've got tablets for the graphic designers so they can learn on a computer and actually take their drawings and they can put it into making graphics and taking it from there. On the audio engineering side, they have soundboards and everything that they need set up, all the cables and everything to be able to just take it and run and record audio. So it's really exciting. It's something that is unique to our program and something that we've been really developing and working on because it was important for students to have access to this. When we talk about that practicum side, they don't necessarily have access to this on a daily basis. So we want to make sure that our program can provide something like that so that as they're learning maybe what their career path is going to be, or they're coming to our boot camp, or they're exploring other opportunities with professionals, that they can actually practice on that equipment.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, over on YouTube, we got a comment, some excitement about Bearfest. So maybe it's one of the students who's done it, or yeah.
All right.
Bearfest.
Yeah, I love that, but that's why events are important, and that's why like celebrating this is important because it raises awareness, it gets people excited, it validates like all the work that the students are doing. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to let's see. I'm going to go back to my banners here. So I guess I always like to make sure that people hopefully they're curious, they're excited about Alamo Arts Academy. They can click through and read the blog post. That's got links to different websites, links where they can send email, send an email and get connected. So what I want to do is kind of recap what some of those events are, and then I want to ask more about how, so if a school, let's say there's a parent listening who's like, I want my kid's school to get in on this, or if there's a school thinking this sounds great, it's TEKS aligned, these are certified teachers, what do I do? But maybe they're trying to figure out okay, how do they get how does this fit into the school day or after school or things like that. Okay, so let's talk about, let's recap. Okay, so Bearfest is coming up, right? You said that's April 12th.
Bearfest is April 12th, 6 p.m. at the Tobin. It's free. First year it's ever been free. So we've had a pretty big crowd every year. So we're kind of like, oh boy. But we wanted that opportunity to give, to get everyone in there. So this is the first year it's free. You'll still have to get tickets. So you go to the Tobin's website. They go on sale on Monday, this coming Monday. But this is the first year it's free. You'll go on there. You request your tickets for the participating schools. We're delivering their tickets to the nonprofits. We're delivering their tickets, but for the general public, they go to the Tobin website, and it's free on the Tobin website. Tickets go on sale Monday, April 4th. That is Perla Rivera, our TRL executive director. Hi, Perla. So yes, tickets go on sale Monday.
Awesome. Okay, and so for Bearfest, okay, so I'm excited, and what a great opportunity to see student work. But I guess if schools want to get involved in Bearfest, that would be maybe around back to school time that they could connect.
Yeah, about every August, September, we'll put a post out there. Perla will put a post out there. Our program director, Jose Ben Willis, will put a post out there, and they'll say, Bearfest, signing up to Bearfest is happening soon. And make sure email us at admin@bearfest.org. admin@bearfest.org. So that's how you get in with Bearfest. We take all the schools that come in and sign up, and bouncing back. Last year we were full live stream. So we weren't there in the Tobin last year, for obvious reasons. So this year is our first year back, and we're gaining steam like we were before. So we had a whole bunch of schools, whole bunch of nonprofits that want to take part in it, and it's an amazing event. So yes, if you're interested, you can also go to www.bearfest.org and get all the information there.
Okay, great. So and then yeah, thanks. So that's the update on Bearfest. So come and make it. This is happening in the summer. Um,
Come and make it's happening in the summer. And before I say anything, I'm not supposed to. I'll let Sarah stop me. So we don't have our locked in. So we have a couple different venues that we're working with to solidify where we're going to be. And we don't have our locked in dates, but we will soon. We're just trying to get through Bearfest. As soon as we're over Bearfest, we'll solidify those dates for Come and Make It. And that's for the schools that are currently enrolled in the Alamo Arts Academy. So basically the events for the Alamo Arts Academy, they're a part of so you have to be in the Alamo Arts Academy to attend.
Got it.
So that's how Come and Make It.
Create.
And same thing with 48 to Create. So 48 to Create is usually in the spring, something we're offering students, around spring break, right before, right after. And then Come and Make It is in the summer. And then Bearfest, as well in the spring.
Okay, so that's the perfect segue, which is like, okay, so Bearfest is open to lots of programs. They can, go to the event in April, and then they can get their school signed up.
That's right.
Around back to school time. And we'll be sure to share that in the group and, kind of remind people, share it on the page. But for Alamo Arts Academy, like hopefully there are, parents excited about this, who can go bug their CTE coordinators at their schools. And
absolutely.
Maybe there's teachers, CTE coordinators watching this thinking like media kits, like certified teachers, like teach like curriculum, so how do they get connected?
And so how would you get connected? So you visit alamoartsacademy.org. It's really right now more of a splash page for the current students that are enrolled. This was our pilot year. It was an extremely successful pilot year. But if you're interested, you can email buddy@alamoartsacademy.org or Joe Gallegos, that's our community outreach director, Joe Gallegos at alamoartsacademy.org. Either one of us, myself or Joe, and we'll get you all the information that you need for the Alamo Arts Academy. And you spoke to a good point there, Inga. When I was a teacher, having that teacher background, to the myself and Mr. Gilmore that have it, and even Joe, who was a teacher there at our old charter school, coming from that background, I knew one of the hardest things for us was practicum education. I think any CTE coordinator, any CTE teacher can tell you, a lot of what we rely on, especially in charter schools, a lot of charter schools don't have the big ISD money. So, you're relying on a lot of grants, a lot of donors, all those different opportunities to get funds for their students. CTE is a big part of that. You get those CTE grants, you can get that CTE money, but one part of CTE is you have to offer your students practicum education. You have to give them those practicum opportunities. And as if teachers didn't have enough on their plate, now we're saying, great, now go find something for those kiddos to do. That was hard. I know it was hard for me when I was there. It was very difficult. Luckily, I started saying, well, we're teaching film. I do film. Guess what you all are doing? Come on, you're going to go help Mr. Calvo on a photo shoot or on a film shoot. So constantly everybody was like, this is great. So now I'm thinking, how many schools are out there? How many CTE coordinators are out there? How many teachers are out there that are saying, we need the funds, we have our kiddos, we have this program, but what can we do? Bring them here. Bring them to the Alamo Arts Academy. Who better to bring them to than somebody who's a certified teacher, somebody who has a curriculum that's teaks aligned, somebody that knows about what it takes to do, CTE courses and to reach the students. We're here. We have this program. That's the whole reason we developed it. Yes, for teaching the students. Yes, for giving them those skills, but also to assist really to assist our charter schools out there that are looking for this. ISDs, they have so much. They have so many resources. And I'm not against ISDs, not against any schools or any teachers. By all means, everybody come to the Alamo Arts Academy. Well, but specifically because I came from a charter school background teaching, I know what it takes. It's tough. It's tough. And charter schools, so many of them were thinking outside the box where, like you said before, you're able to, put some kids on the bus and let's go, let's check some stuff out in the Montessori approach. So many different things. I know this was a hard one. This was a hard one for me. And I know it's a hard one for a lot of schools out there. So we're here. We're here to help. We're ready to rock and roll. Come on over to the Alamo Arts Academy. We'll take care of everything.
Sarah, do you want to offer like echo what Buddy's saying, like how this is a benefit for schools?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we kind of didn't touch on was the certifications that we'll be working on with high school
That's
students.
right.
So we want to provide that avenue where they can, not only are they getting that practicum education, but they're taking that and getting the certifications to go a step further. So now they can leave school and they can start working in the field of interest that they have. So they're ready to go. And so it's important for us to carry them along that journey, whether it's, starting in middle school with us or starting in high school with us, and to support the teachers, like Buddy said, because this is the program where we want to take care of everything for all involved, and we want to make this easy for schools. So it is something where we're thinking of every angle, every avenue, everything that we can do to give a holistic approach to the education, but take care of the schools as well. So we're really excited to do that. We've learned a lot this pilot year, but we're going to take that into the next year, and we're super excited and ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point about certifications because that's it opens doors. I mean that, and it's part of. I mean, I think people need to realize like it's not just like life doesn't end once you get your like 4-year college degree. Like there's lots of steps along the way. So like even if a kid who maybe knows they want a 4-year college degree, but if they have like a certification in Photoshop or Premiere, then maybe their summer job is more interesting than just
Absolutely.
a basic entry level job, like, or they can work in a field that they're interested in and be working towards something. It's not just a big cliff you have to scale.
Exactly. It gives
Absolutely.
them
And
an edge.
and there's so much of that, Inga, that we're here ready to speak to students about, ready to speak to parents about, to teachers about, to administration about, that we've lightly touched on. But yes, the certifications, the internships. You come into Alamo Arts Academy, we're constantly networking and putting you together. Your practicum education, a part of that is internships. So when you're in high school, and of course leaving high school, you've met professionals in the field that work, clients of ours that work at different places that you can go get a job. You've already interned them. They already know you. They know you're a part of, they know you went through our program, that you're vouched, so to speak, through us, that you have these certificates. This is big. This is huge for any school, any students that are interested in being in the field of multimedia. This is a really good opportunity. This is really something to explore, and we hope people take advantage of it.
Sarah, do you want to comment on the like sort of certifications, internships, things like that, like that sort of the job path the students have?
Yeah, so as a professional, this makes me really excited. When I heard about the program through Buddy and he sort of shared his vision and thought behind it, it's like, wow, I wish I had had access to this 15 years ago when I started photography from a student's perspective. I learned the hard way, and so this is exciting to be able to teach students everything that we've gone through as professionals. As Buddy as a professional filmmaker, me as a professional commercial photographer, just being able to share our experiences and different perspectives with them. And it's more than just learning from a textbook, but take it a step further. So now on the professional side, we need interns, we need extras, we need people that are on staff that can come in and help us with our productions and things that we're working on in our own businesses. And in San Antonio, we know lots of professionals that need the same thing and a lot of support. So we can now offer an opportunity for students to partner with professionals, and they get that practicum and just another layer and another avenue that might be open for them. So it's really exciting. It's something that's, like I've said before, it's so unique, but it works really well. There's this really great partnership that happens.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, this is okay. I had heard of Bearfest, but then when Buddy reached out to me and explained like, well, there's this element here that is just it's tailor made for what charter schools need because charter schools are like each school or each network they're just so much smaller than what the ISDs are doing, and so but like each charter school wants to have a rich set of options for their students, and they're very deliberate about preparing students for the future. And this kind of practicum, hands-on experience, like working with real life professionals, like that's what the students are going to benefit from. So I'm really
Absolutely.
proud. I'm proud to be able to like help communicate this to families and to schools so that I feel like this is like the phase we're in. It's sort of like this reopening and reconnecting, and
That's right.
having in-person events again. And I'm happy to assist with that. So I wonder if each of y'all want to offer kind of closing thoughts, and then I'll put the contact info back up on the screen. Buddy, how about we do Buddy and then Sarah kind of offer closing thoughts?
Absolutely. Well, first, Inga, thank you. Of course, thank you for allowing us to be here, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to reach this network of different, parents and teachers, students, everyone, hopefully. We're just very proud of what we're doing. We're very proud to offer this program and to be able to, again, not only teach students, not only give them this curriculum, but give them these skills. These are real skills that students are going to take, that they're going to be able to find themselves and find that career path that that can take them who knows where. And just how you mentioned earlier, when I was a teacher, this wasn't a very popular thing to say, but I used to tell students all the time, college is not for everyone. College, that's a fact. Definitely four-year college or traditional ideal of college, but that doesn't, I'm not saying, higher education isn't. I'm talking about college, the way we think of college. So, there's 2-year colleges you can go to. Yes, there's a 4-year university. There's trade schools you can go to. There's certifications you can get. There's internships. You always want to keep learning. There's always a chance for higher, but don't think, well, I wasn't a good student, so I'm definitely not. No, there's tons you could do. So, and this idea of the Alamo Arts Academy came from a lot of charter schools messaging us through BearFest. We'd love to be a part of BearFest. We'd love, year after year, we would get these emails. We'd love to be a part of it, but our school doesn't have this. We don't have this. We don't have this program. How can we? And we were, I'm very sorry, but, and then the light bulb went off. Hey, I put together this idea when I was a teacher. Let's implement it now. This is it. The pandemic happened. Let's roll on this. So we've had a very positive response to this, and we're very grateful to that. So thank you so much, Inga, for allowing us to be here. And to any schools, to any teachers, to any students, any parents, anybody interested in this program, email us. Email us, go to our website. Any way you can track us down. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. Send us a message and you'll get a response immediately. We're here to help. We want to help educate and help prepare our students for the future. And now I'll be quiet. Go for it.
Sure, you want to take us out?
Buddy said it all perfectly. No, I completely agree with that. I'm just, we're so proud of what we've been building, and we're really excited to take it to the next level. We have a huge vision, and we have lots of plans for the future that we're excited to start implementing starting this next school year. And, we think that everything that we've been building, we know we're a great fit for charter schools. We know that the program that we have just meshes so well, so beautifully with charter schools. So we're open and ready to take any schools that are interested. We'd be happy to answer any questions or, do any kind of presentation or anything that we need to do to give more information and provide that support for schools and teachers and students and parents. So we're really excited. And Inga, thank you so much for having us on today. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, I'm honored because I want to spread good ideas, and I feel like this is a really good idea and a really good team. And I hope that you guys can connect with more schools and keep and build on the great stuff you've already done in your pilot year of Alamo Arts Academy and your other great programs like BearFest.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll sign off for today. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.